Okay, next on the list of shorts that I've got is To Be a Hero, Episode 1, First Day as a Superhero. I watched this. Did you watch this, Elliot?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Dwayne,
It was
did you
really
watch this?
I watched it and I didn't enjoy it.
Good. What?
Niall, did you watch this?
I was too busy.
Okay, Dwayne, what did you not enjoy about the glorious return of Nabashin?
Oh, it's himself, is it? Oh,
It is him, yes.
I don't know. There was something that it just wasn't kind of getting me. Just the kind of maybe it was the loud, shouty daughter or something like that. Or the
What?
fact-
No, she's the best bit. Oh, she's so angry. It was great.
But there's no dial on that. It's just like always at the angriest,
But
you know.
your father is a shithead toilet seat manufacturer who keeps hitting on ladies,
Hey,
and he won't.
toilet seat designer.
Oh yeah, sorry. He's an architect of derrieres. But wouldn't you be pissed off with that guy being a shitlord, and then he turns into a pervert who like tries to? Weird. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really funny because, and then the ending credits especially were my favorite bit, where it looked like that old Konami game where you're shooting down like wolves trying to eat the three little pigs or something. But yeah,
Say,
it's
is
great.
that an actual game? Because I would play.
Yeah,
that.
it's real. It was on Giant Bomb at one point.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like pigs shooting down wolves that are trying to eat you or your family from under you. But no, I really enjoyed this. It was great. Like the angry daughter, the useless idiot, like hero, and the weird Mario joke. Just like
I didn't
the
quite get
Super
that.
Mario jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically a tale of a 38-year-old toilet designer who gets pulled into his toilet by a man who lives in the sewers who gives out superpowers because the aliens are invading and he was the only person sitting on the toilet at that point of time in the day.
Yeah, on planet Earth, he was the only person
Yes.
on the John.
And these superpowers turn him into this fat, slovenly-looking, balding pervert who does have great strength, but also, unfortunately, what he thinks he's trying to say always comes out as something creepy and perverted.
Unless what he's saying is creepy and perverted.
Yes, in the first place.
Yeah.
This is my power.
Yes.
My curse.
And his daughter's already mad at him because he's taken their toilet seat out to a bar in order to pick up women, because he's basically using it as like a Cinderella glass slipper. He's going up to women and saying, which of your bottoms will fit this toilet seat?
Well, yeah, and he's like, I can measure a woman's waist by looking at him because I've designed toilet seats and
Yes.
this is part of my thing. And yet all the women are really impressed by this for
They
some
are.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like Nabashin's writing and directing, you'll like this because you can tell it's him right from the start, from like the very first line. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how identifiable his work is as being his.
It's like a singularity.
Yeah.
It's just like he is his own little weird universe.
Yeah,
unto
he's
itself.
like an auteur. He should be up there with
Oh, don't say that. You're
Satoshi
cursing.
Kon and Miyazaki.
Oh.
Yeah, well, if it can't just be drama and like science fiction and things, you can have an auteur for the comedy field as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he does have aliens who go, la la la, we're aliens.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm an alien.
So, no, you've got to watch it. If you like it and I like it, we're going to force Dwayne to watch it every week.
Shit.
I did enjoy. I've been known to enjoy Nabashin's things. I have not really said anything he's done. Maybe he's not doing anything for a while, but
Yeah.
I recall being into that guy's thing.
Yes. I guarantee that Anthony will hate this as well if he ever watches it.
Well, he has a history of not enjoying this.
That
guy's
is
work.
true, yes.
I'm not familiar with his stuff, so maybe it was just too much of a shock. to the
XL
system or-
Saga.
Yeah. XL Saga.
Is
Punny
the-
punny poemy.
Yeah.
That's harder to get. No,
Don't even try. Like
I feel like I tried to watch a couple of episodes of XL Saga in a row to my fucking death.
Oh no!
Yeah, yeah. See,
don't
I
do
didn't know that was the thing, and that
Like
put me
I'm
off
the
it.
biggest XL Saga apologist, and even I was saying don't do that. Like it hurts.
Nobody warned me. There should have been a thing on the box. that
Sorry,
said,
I was
"Don't
trying to
do
help
that."
you. It's my fault. I'm sorry.
And the final short I've got on my list is Miss Bernard Said, Episode 1, First Volume, Miss Bernard Said.
What?
A load of bullshit, mostly.
Yes, a load of bullshit. I watched this, Elliot watched it. Dwayne, did you watch it?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it.
I guess Niall didn't get a chance either.
All right.
This has a lot of footnotes and annotations.
Are we talking like Psyche K kind of level things, or
Of
that amount of information on screen at once?
Yes, I mean, I want to say it's better subtitled, but it wasn't. It had a different problem in that I think somebody had messed up the tags. It's probably fine now as we're recording, but it was, if you looked at it on like windowed on the page, the annotations were like pushing the dialogue out of frame. And when I blew it up full screen, it was the opposite. The dialogue was pushing the annotations out of the frame.
Bloody hell.
That's bizarre.
I assume it's just some sort of whatever they use for tagging up subtitles. Someone did a boo-boo.
I think I just couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
Too much.
I think it was only on the bit about Anno.
Yeah, that was yeah. So for that bit, I didn't get any subtitles at all. They all just gave up. I had no subs, and I was like,
You know what this guy is, right?
Well, it's just like what's the joke? Oh, I guess it's on me for watching this. But no, I really liked it. It's really weird, like, because I was expecting like it to be moaning about Miss Bernard, who was the like girl who likes to talk about books but doesn't read them, and then there's the boring boy who's the introductory sort of character, and then there's the girl who's way too into it, and it became a joke about her instead, and she just went off on like arbitrary name changes for reissues of books, which is annoying, and I could kind of like sympathize.
And was it also translations as well? It was like
just retranslations when something changes. It's like, oh, they changed the title for some reason because it's stupid. And it's kind of gnarly.
It's very, very, very specific humour.
Okay.
And someone posted something on Twitter, and there was the character designs in the manga don't look anything like what's in the anime. Except
they look way better.
Occasionally there'll be like you'll get a glimpse of what they look like in the manga. I have to say I would have preferred it if it looked like what it looks like in the manga. Yeah,
it looks too clean, too pretty almost.
Yes, like, they've prettied it up for TV. They've
taken the soul out. But I don't know, I still enjoyed this. I'm going to keep watching this because I quite enjoyed it. I actually got quite a few laughs out of it. I'm interested to see how they dunk on most of the cast. Like, that's going to be fun. It's not the jokes, it's more just dunking on each other.
Yeah, and this episode had a lot of sort of Western sci-fi stuff in it, so it's probably fairly accessible.
Yeah, I found out that like they're reissuing a bunch of books with like cover slips from this series, and they're going to do at least one episode on Philip K. Dick. So I guess I'm signed up because I'm an idiot. So yeah,
it's by the director who did Oji-san and Marshmallow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. On to full-length, full-sized anime.
Okay.
Monster Hunter Stories, Ride On, Episode 1. Anyone else watch this apart from me?
No. I did.
Nope. You did, Dwayne. It's very much like How to Train Your Dragon, is it not?
But not as good. But I like trying to get some Pokemon in there as well. When you reach a certain age, you get a fucking medallion that lets you get a monster partner.
It's like even the design of the village being by the sea.
And the kind of made out of bones and stuff. Yeah. But I mean, I think that's been in Monster Hunter for a while.
No, maybe, yes. But it's based on the new game. And it's got very nice character designs. There's like a really great bit of animation after the opening credits. That bit where they're being chased by the monster, him and the cat thing.
Right, yeah.
Where almost every frame is a great drawing on that bit. And there's CG monsters who
aren't as good.
Well, I mean, the CG monsters are fine. It's just do they mesh well with the 2D animation?
Yeah, see, that's the thing. When I seen the footage from the game, obviously the characters in the game are CG, kind of cell shaded kind of looking guys as well. But so they match in with the monsters.
Yeah.
But in this, it's kind of weird. Like you see like an animated dude on top of a monster, and it's just like this is kind of like it's not really working so well. It worked a little better when they had him they had that monster kind of in motion, and they had a CG guy on top of the CG monster, and I was like, okay, that fits because the frame rate's the same and that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't so bothered by it, but then again, I probably watched it very early, whatever morning it aired. I thought it was a perfectly fine kids show. And the only thing I was weirded out by was how quickly that dragon grew up.
Yeah, apparently like overnight. That's an odd one.
Maybe your metabolism is a lot faster than ours.
It does. But yeah, when I watched it, I thought I could easily watch more of this, and then I watched everything else in the week, and I was like, even if I wanted to, I don't know how I'd find time to watch it.
Like the only things that bugged me about the design of it was the cat guy. I feel like they're trying to what are they called? They're called felines in Monster Hunter, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're the subservient cat people who work for you.
Yeah, the cat thing. I feel like they're trying to make him like Jibanyan kind of thing because they've got the big mad head on him and everything. He's not really cat shaped.
Yeah, those cats have had their own anime as well, haven't they, already?
I think so.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it was shorts, was it? Or
I think so. Or maybe net only short. I don't know. I mean, I'm aware of them because I did my cat panel. But they did not make it into the final thing.
You're the expert after all.
Next up, airing the same day, I believe. Time Bokan 24, episode 1. Cleopatra was actually a comedy duo known as Cleo and Patra.
why would you give away the joke in the title?
Yeah.
Because it's a kids show to sell a bracelet thing.
So, no,
That's
it's not.
why,
It's to sell. It's to sell robot toys.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
but
robots look great. I'm not complaining.
No,
about that.
I'm on board with the robots, but it's the ridiculously large bracelet is the bit that I was like, not so sure about
That's how you
that.
make them go.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
seeing. I follow the Takara Tomy. No, was it the Bandai channel? It's Bandai. I think those robots are. Oh, the Takara.
Okay.
Anyway, whoever's robots they are, I do follow the channel, and I'm only seeing adverts for the robots, not for anything else. Yeah, so this is a new Time Bokan series, written by the guy who writes Yokai Watch, with ideas by the guy who puts ideas into Yokai Watch and Professor Layton and the Level 5 guy, basically.
Yeah.
That dude.
Right.
I didn't know there was a previous Time Bokan series. I just went to this completely like carte blanche.
And this is not the 24th either.
No.
No, I'm guessing that's like a 24 hours.
Yeah, or maybe the truth of it will be revealed as we go along.
24 episodes.
The
There you
24th
go.
in continuity or something.
Could well be, yes. So yeah, the theme of this show is that kids, everything you know about history is wrong. It was actually much funnier than the boring stuff you read in history books.
Which already, it's like,
InfoWars.
yeah.
Secret history of the world is actually hilarious.
Yeah, and a bunch of the evil group are a bunch of encyclopedists who don't want to have to like rewrite the history books legitimately because that's
that
what they
costs them
sell.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
actually
we
felt
write
bad
the,
for them.
the best history book ever. They're the only 3 employees at the company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if the history book gets changed, they have to go through every fucking book and put in the new pages, or they can travel back in time in a robot and fight them changing history.
Elliot, if you
Yeah.
feel bad for them, that means this is a successful Time Bokan series because you are supposed to feel bad for those 3 guys in every series because they're always working for a guy who's the actual evil person, and they're just kind of schlubs who have to carry out these plans.
I
They share the same pot noodle. Like that's how much they're making.
Yeah.
I mean, I love how they're the only 3 employees in that company, but they're in the 14th storage room.
Yes.
And like whenever the 2 like idiot male like schlubs say okie dokie, they like point their bums at the camera and slap them. Like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, and I believe they're played by the actors who were the leads in Yataman Night.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think that we did a kind of more what's a serious take, but no, definitely a more sort of trying to go for more mature take perhaps on like this whole technical property. Let's just kind of do a straight update instead. Keep all the kind of strange, goofy humor intact and see how this goes. I think it works better.
Yeah, it feels like it should be a Beano or Dandy strip.
Oh, totally.
Which is exactly
yeah, I'm right there with you.
what it should feel like. And I'm glad that not every episode is going to involve man's eye performers.
I
hope
hope
not. Because unfortunately this has the thing of a bit like Haybot, where they need to show bad stand-up comedy. and then it's like the good stand-up comedy is not that much better than the bad stand-up comedy.
Like, I actually quite enjoyed everything about the idiot main character who's always late, who sounds like the most infuriating friend. I would not be that person.
No, that's great because my favourite jokes.
You're not supposed to like the heroes,
Yeah. My favourite jokes were the reason the male lead can time travel safely is because he's always late for everything and he doesn't care, so therefore time has no control over him.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the amount of times they did say time Bokan and say it with such relish. It was pretty great.
And my other favourite joke was the Thunderbirds cockpit delivery gag when they're on the sliding seats, and his is like a roller coaster, but hers isn't.
Yeah, I kind of like it as well. Like they're doing all the kind of the poses and the little flourishes there when they're doing their time travel or space police kind of job. It's fun. He's doing it along with her. Obviously, she's a much more seasoned veteran of this job. He's going on with it as well, but saying, "You guys feel a little of your poses, huh? Doing this. I don't know what we're all doing this for, but it's pretty good."
And I like the dynamic of he's like more of a kid brother type character.
Yeah, that too. He seems to be very easily flustered by older females, whether it's his partner on the force or not Doronjo. She's got a different name.
Yeah, I can't remember their names at the moment. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I should probably watch more. You in for more, Niall?
I am, yeah. I quite like this. I'm a big fan of their main beetle robots because that opening sequence where they're jumping through different time periods now on a big chase scene, and beetle can switch into the kind of different like vehicle modes, kind of just in flight. It's just the way I feel. I think it's very well designed. I can kind of see how all the parts kind of move around and switch to different thing. That's going to be a feature of the toy, I imagine. That's probably why it is that way.
I've seen those adverts, yeah. There's lots of different other bugs which combine with it to form other things.
Yeah, and like, we have what they call the Spy Robot. It combines and forms the Big Bang Punch from Massacre Z, The Impact.
And I believe our hero comments, not sure why it needed to be a spider in the first place.
Because we got a theme of invertebrate creatures here. We got to stick with that.
Yes, and he did actually do some spider webbing, but it was like mummy wrap. The villain's mecha works by it scans some sort of historical landmark and then turns into a robot version of that.
I love that because then they'll always be on theme.
Yes. And they don't have to come up with any convoluted explanation as to why. And it's got the Ataman thing of the pig climbing up the palm tree. Yeah,
I was going to ask what the hell that was about.
That's the thing which Yataman's the second time Bokan's thing and introduced it in that, but then subsequent time Bokan shows also used it.
Okay.
Basically, when it's a thing when the smart one of the two guys gets praised by the woman, and then that thing will happen.
Yeah, it's sort of like some kind of euphemism for an unlikely thing has happened, unlikely as it may be.
Okay, right.
Yep.
Like once in the blue moon. There you go.
Yes. I like the overall the big villain, how he's human, but he's got like the
the pixel.
The pig. Is it the pig snout thing over his face?
I thought it was a skull.
Yeah.
There was a skull as his. Well, I can't remember.
I think it's the cloud skull thing.
That's it. Yeah.
It's like a pixelated pink skull.
Yeah. So, I wonder if that is because the female lead seems to be searching for somebody in different time zones, and we see like an older man in the opening credits. So I wonder if it's good. So I assume it's her dad that she's looking for, and I wonder if the dad will turn out to be the actual main villain.
Oh, probably. Yeah, that seems likely.
Yes. Next up on Throwback Anime Weekends, it's Tiger Mask Double, which is not airing in the UK, so I had to wear my VPN mask and watch it on US Crunchyroll. Was I the only one who watched it?
I watched it.
You watched it. What do you think, Dwayne?
I quite liked it. I would have liked to seen more wrestling rather than the kind of. There was a lot of drama in this one. But I haven't really watched much or at all really any Tiger Mask. So this was kind of a good introduction, and I'm really liking that line technique they're doing as well.
Yeah, I found it good old-fashioned fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Both the sort of they got that thing where they're trying to make it look like the original first anime as much as they can using a digital technique. But I think the story beats and the characters and the action scenes also feel like throwbacks.
The thing that kind of took me out of it for a second was where the manager's phone goes off and it's got a really loud vibrate on it, and I was like, "All right, I'm not watching an old thing."
No, this is modern day. Because it's got the trainer is like the one guy who knew Tiger Mask's real identity from the original series, and so you got these two different Tiger Masks who are trying to find this wrestler called Yellow Devil, is it? I think.
Yeah.
Who hurt their when they were young boys. The guy who was...
You say young boys, but they look like grown men.
But no, that's what they call their trainee wrestlers.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Right. Who was viciously attacked by this wrestler, Yellow Devil, whatever. I can't remember his name. Whichever.
I think it's Yellow Devil.
Is it, or is it Venom? Yeah. I could look at the very extensive character page. We'll figure it out for next week. But yeah, when we see him, you can see his hair sticking out the back of his mask. So I'm gonna guess when we do see him again, he won't be wearing the mask, or there'll be somebody who is him in secret wandering around. And we get one New Japan Pro wrestler show up, Okada.
Was that the guy in the feather boa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically the villains are kind of feel like a thinly veiled WWE stand-in.
What are you? No, it's not the WWE. What is it? It's like
It's something Monopoly is what it ends in.
It's World Wrestling Monopoly or something, and it's just like, guys, that's a bit on the nose. And one of the villains, the guy who worked for Yellow Devil or whatever his name is, goes to point out, Monopoly, that means you own everything. That's why I'm working for you guys. And I'm like, he says Monopoly in English, and I'm like, okay, I get it. That's fine. I understand. I looked it up. Oh, dear.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. So I'll get some more use out of my VPN other than One Piece. So I assume, again, this is a Toei show, so that's probably the reason why it isn't available in the UK.
They just locked the
because of some fanciful idea that Toei Europe will be streaming it somewhere.
Toei what now?
Next up, more sports anime. I've got a run of these coming up, and this is the first sports anime with exclamation marks in its name. There's a run of those coming up as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just noticed that.
I've arranged them in order of the amount of exclamation marks in their titles. All Out! Though this one does capitalise the entire title. Episode
That's just
1.
one exclamation, though, right?
2 exclamation marks.
Oh, 2, okay. Right.
Yeah. This year's first years are hilarious.
Not really.
Have at it, rugby fans.
Yeah, this is boilerplate sports anime template. Insert favorite sport here. It'll probably line up with everything else you've ever seen in your life.
I would say it's actually lesser than that. Like, it follows the brave new Fujo Bay sports template because, hey, Fujo's buy loads of merch and DVDs. But
the pretty boy kind of thing, right?
It's really boring. Like, I couldn't stand this show because it was so slow. And it just expected you to fall in love with the cast. And I'm like, okay, little bratty friggin' 3-foot dude who's clearly going to be the tackler and the muscle was a little shit. And his wimpy, 7 feet tall blonde compatriot was also just completely bland. And then you've got the chuckling older dude who's the head of the club going, oh lads, don't worry. We love the sport. And then there's drill hair dude with red and white hair. And I don't know, this show is so friggin' boring. I'm not bothering. There's so many better other homoerotic sports shows out there if you want one.
I thought I was going to be really amused because the opening thing of the credits is after the second shot is of a muscular butt in shorts, and I was like, oh, is this what the show is going to be? Because this could be fucking hilarious. You know, it could be really enjoyable for how
gratuitous.
I thought that could be really funny to watch, but it doesn't really get anywhere with it. No, I'm just supposed to see their pining and stuff and be really into that.
But I suppose, but it's supposed to, it's supposed to work both ways. But it's just hella boring. Like it was so slow and just like no charm to it at all. Like I mean, especially when you compare it to like all the other shows that have been recently out, like Yowamushi Pedal and Haikyuu and that, and both of those shows I think are really charming. And like even apart from the fact that I couldn't give a rat's bum about the characters bonking each other, it's like this is a fun watch. Whereas
that's
this show,
if the fun of it is kind of like what I was expecting from this, but what really didn't deliver on.
Plus, it didn't even bother to cover rugby at all. It said, like,
exactly.
It's like you haven't told
rugby
me
exists. Yeah. That's all I've learned from this.
It's like that ball is weird, and that's the only rugby tidbit you get. I mean, even frigging like iShield 21 was better at explaining American football, even though it went bananas very quickly and stopped caring.
But that's why it was good.
Yeah, that was the best. It's like, oh yeah, we don't care about rugby anymore. We're just going to do superpowers. It's like, oh okay, fair enough. That dude's a horse. So yeah, I'm not bothering with this because it was really boring. So there's that.
I'm going to keep an eye on it and see. There's all this like folderol. They gotta get out of the way. Maybe when you actually get down to playing the sport, it could up its game a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that mostly because I've seen a lot of sports anime. Often I'd be about to kind of maybe novice about the sport, where it's about like versus American football, which I learned about anyways, watching it. That was a good way, or volleyball, baseball, blah blah blah. But there's a sport I'm actually quite familiar with. I watch it on a regular basis, both personally and professionally. So I kind of wanted to succeed, but it's got a tough road to hoe. I was enamored with the card design as well. I liked that there seems to be a lot of weirdos here. I liked that the retro guy in the team he belongs in the wrong anime altogether. Should be like a character in Toriko, but he's in this anime instead.
Yeah,
I see more crazy guys like him.
Yeah, the dude with hair that doesn't make any kind of physical sense.
He seemed to belong to a more serious, better sports anime. He got somehow drafted in.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'll just keep an eye on it. From time to time, I'll see how it develops. I got a feeling it's going to be one of those shows that's going to start abysmally, but I think over time, gradually, it might build ahead of steam and come out turn something half decent, if not pretty good.
Yeah, but it didn't really set the base for that right now, but it has the potential for that in terms of like the design of it, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah. First thing is got to get out of the way. We get it. The guy's short. That's not going to be very, very funny after the first 10 seconds. So just get it out of your system right now in this first episode and never speak of it again.
If they do it again, they've completely missed the mark.
He's not only short, he's also very angry.
Well, he is the Josuke thing of like, if you mention that he's short, or you mentioned Josuke's hair is dumb, that they go like basically ballistic on you. But it's like, it doesn't really work with shortness, but it's kind of funny with the haircut because the haircut is so crazy that how could you not point at it?
I mean, plus, like, you can control your haircut. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You can't.
He chose that. He went to the barber and said that.
You say Josuke's haircut's strange, but it's nowhere near as strange as the captain of the rugby team's haircut in this show.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm wondering if it makes sense when he puts on the helmet. Like, do the white bits come out of the helmet? Is that what happened or something?
My big problem with this show is that chain link fence.
Yeah, I was.
It was invisible.
So some guy on Twitter took me to. So basically, whenever the characters are behind a chain link fence, it vanishes in an area around their face, so you can see their expression. But that's not new. But the problem is that the chain link fence, like, so someone on Twitter took me to task for this, and I said no. Like in other shows, there's at least a slight overlap of the fence with their face, so you can see they're behind it. Whereas in this show, all around their face is a halo of missing chain link. So they're basically pushing through the wall. And it looks messed. It looks messed. I don't know why, but it just looks messed up because there's just this massive gap in the fence where their faces shine through.
If you can't deal with the detail of drawing somebody's face behind a chain link fence, don't draw the chain link fence in the first place.
Or have them in front of the chain link fence.
You do that. When it comes to the medium or medium wide shot, they're behind the fence. It's all perfectly drawn in. So just Like pick one thing and go with it. Then if you're going to
I
do
know
it that way,
that's an old manga technique, like where it's basically like you've spent so long drawing the face. Like I don't want to draw big fucking black lines over their face now.
But I mean, like Haikyuu do the same sort of thing, but they only fade it out near actual facial features, like noses and stuff.
It's digital animation now. You can just make that a layer and fade it as appropriate rather than wiping the entire thing out.
Exactly.
Simple solution: just make him stand on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, it makes sense when you were putting pen to paper, but this is like entirely a different situation.
Like, I don't care what it looks like in the comic, just for the sake of the moving picture adaptation, just make it look better for TV. Put him on the underside of the fence if you gotta do it. Get rid of the fence. Make him sit on the bench. I don't know. Do something else.
It's like they don't draw the fence, and then the next scene, you've got the captain's hair. They didn't draw that.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean, it looks a good show, apart from that chain link fence, I will say. The first years were not as hilarious as promised in the title.
No, they were not.
And I was expecting more of them.
It's just an early line by one of the bullies saying, "Hey, that guy's tall and that guy's small. Hilarious."
As you say, ICU 21 has the problem of first years who are hilarious.
Yeah.
Like a guy who looks like a monkey.
And then the guy who looks like a grape.
Yes.
The guy who's a chestnut. Sorry, he's a chestnut.
Yes, the guy who's perfectly spherical and tiny. But really,
Man,
really
that guy
strong.
has a great arc. Whatever. I love that guy.
It's pretty good.
Anyway, more sport and 3 exclamation marks in the title and another 2 in the episode title. It is Yuri!
Yuri!
Ice! Episode 1. Easy as Perotsky, the Grand Prix Final of Tears. And it is figure skating this time is our sport of choice. And it's, what's her name? Seiya Yamamoto? Seiya Yamamoto.
Yeah.
And this was a show I was reading reviews of, people talking about the eroticism of it. I was like,
not really.
No, when I watched
there was like one rather tame butt shot,
yes.
and the rest of it was like really fluid, nice character moments.
Yes, it's a really funny show.
Yeah, it reminded me actually, like it only hit me this morning, but it reminded me of Fullmetal Alchemist and like, the Silver Spoon and Fullmetal Alchemist author. Like when it got to the comedic elements, it had that sort of dynamism and fluidity to its character moments and character facial expressions especially.
Yeah, I think Silver Spoon is a good point. The thing it reminded me of is like it would be like a Billy Elliot or a Brastoff or it's like some guy in a northern town achieving something beyond what you'd expect him to do. That's kind
of legit. What it is Yuri coming from this like resort town where his family have the one remaining onsen because the rest of them shut down, and even though he kind of bombed out of his entire competitive season, they all still really like him, even though they kind of do it mercenarily, like to try and keep the town afloat and talk behind his back. I don't know. So like Yuri, like main protagonist and kind of nice, very sort of Silver Spoon protagonist dude, bombed out of his career, put on weight by stress eating, and comes home to see his family and kind of rediscover himself and to dance for his like childhood friend / possible crush, which had the best timing of the entire episode where he's like totally doing this massive like famous routine for her. And I thought, this is too perfect. There's got to be a fly in the ointment here. All of their flashbacks are of like him, her, and another childhood friend. And then surprise, while he was away, she married him and had 3 kids that she then named after friggin' like moves, like pirouette and all that, which was perfect timing because I thought if they stretch this tension out anymore, it's going to be unbearable.
Yeah, and it's only tension for you, the viewer, because it then makes clear that he already knew about these children and he's met them before. It
was great because it's basically slapping you in the face with a glove and saying, no shipping, knock it off. Like don't do that. And then instead his like hero, the hero, what's his face? I forget his name.
Victor.
It's not Yuri. Victor, who has that little cute friggin' like red nose with like 3 red lines on his nose to show it's a bit pink. Comes to the onsen after his like performance gets uploaded by the kids on YouTube, which is like cut from the headlines and really smart. It's like, yeah, of course some kid's going to live stream your stupid personal like dance routine.
And the best bit is when the kids are getting told off by their dad. 2 of them are crying, but one of them still looks really proud of herself.
Yeah, and they're like bouncing all over the place because they're like they're anime rotund children. But yeah, so then like I forget his name again. Sorry.
I don't know any of the characters' names. Victor's the only one I remember.
Victor, yeah. So Victor comes along and says, "I'm going to be your trainer now," and then that's where you get the gratuitous butt shot, and which whatever, it's a butt shot. Who cares? And then that's the end of the first episode. And there's an in-between bit where another character called Yuri, who's like on the Russian team, the junior team, is being a shithead to Yuri, the Yuri we like, in the toilets by kicking in the door. So yeah, I really enjoyed this show just because it was so beautiful and dynamic and really nice character animation and sort of like choreography of the dancing and the back and forth between Victor and Yuri's sort of performance, and the OP is likely rotoscoped but still looks amazing, so I don't care, and it has a really good song to it, so I am totally bought in on this show. Thank you, Mappa, I guess.
You're welcome.
Hello, Niall, you still there?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello. What do you think? Do you enjoy it?
Oh, me? I tried to watch it last night, but then Crunchyroll broke.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Because I knew I wanted to watch it, and then I was like, well, I really want to see that, but I'll just have to listen to you guys talk about it instead.
Do you see it, Dwayne?
There were so many things I wish I hadn't watched, and I'd watch this instead.
Yeah. You watched episode 3 of Haybot instead of this.
I know! Brian, I could have watched this!
There's still time. It's still only like 10 p.m. on a Friday. You can go watch it. It's great.
Get out of here. Go watch it right now.
Yeah, no, I this is one I really wanted to check out. I just didn't manage to get the time in for it.
Yeah.
And our final butt-related sports anime.
Is it 8 or 9 exclamation marks? I think it's 8. Yeah,
it's 8.
8? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 8.
Keijo! Episode 1. Satuchi Keijo Training School. 4 more exclamation marks. And which we learn about the sport of Keijo, which apparently exists. I mean, I have seen people doing something similar. I didn't know it was called that, though.
It's like a takeoff of like a cavalry battle type thing. And it's more known here. Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball Extreme or whatever the hell.
Okay.
Where basically girls try and butt push each other off of a small platform.
Yeah,
that's kind of it.
I gotta ask now because I didn't get to see this. Is this worth watching? Because for the same reason that I thought I'd enjoy All Out, I thought I might enjoy this.
So I think this has much better focus on the sport than All Out because it's clearly
even though it's a fake sport, but yeah,
it's very bought into its fake idiotic sport.
Yeah. I would say the action is played amazingly straight.
Wow. Okay.
And
yes.
animation
up at it.
Really quite. It's animated like a shonen action anime or a sports anime.
Fucking perfect.
It's very dynamic, except it involves butts and boobs being smashed into each other rather than fists and feet.
And there are so many special moves. Like it's amazing.
That sounds great. That sounds pretty much what I wanted out of
the problem is when it's not doing the sport, it is so boring.
Really?
Yeah, it turns into the lowest rent of like sport time filling. Like, oh, you 4 are in the losers' room, the empty room, because you'll all fuck off home soon. And it's the most sort of put upon heavy-handed, like, you 4 are the losers with quirky personalities. And here's these 2 losers. And like main girl and her best friend. I don't know how the best friend got stuck in the losers clamp as well, because she seemed to be doing okay. So they're in the idiot room and they have to face off against other squads to try and like claw their way up the rankings and whatever.
Yeah.
Was that a ragtag bunch of misfits with nothing to lose?
Yeah, exactly.
Never heard that before.
Including the one who is like clearly clumsy, so that's going to come into play until we're all bored of it.
Yeah, I think it's you have to rush to watch it, but it's worth checking out the first episode, or just skip till you see an action scene and watch some of that.
Yeah,
because it's interesting to see how it's played. Because I was like, oh, there's a couple of usual suspects for this type of show, where I think they would have delivered a very different look to it than what you get.
Okay.
So like, what's the guy? The guy who did the second series of Genshin Ken.
Oh God, that bastard.
Yes, who does a lot of these sort of action erotica things like Queen's Blade, and yet somehow directs them in the most boring manner possible.
Yeah, like that guy manages to destroy things that you don't feel bad about him destroying, but at the same time, it's like, man, fuck off.
And then you got the guy who did Valkyrie Drive and the one about the ninja.
The one about
the ninjas who were stealing people's breast weight.
Okay, so that's more specific.
Oh God, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, whereas he's a much better director, but it would be so much more perverted.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fact
See,
that
I wanted them to take it deadly seriously.
Yeah,
That sounds like the good.
it's really crazy because they do take it deadly seriously, and the one thing that does break is the fact that like characters will get bruised and battle damaged when they're fighting, apart from when their boobs and their butts are like impervious because they're their weaponry as well.
Well, those
Like,
are the
well,
weapons.
So our main lass gets hit on the leg and she gets like a welt on there, and you think, oh, that looks painful, like because she got whacked in the bloody leg with a butt, So yeah. It
does sound entertaining. Yeah.
The fact that it plays it so straight and everyone is bought into it 100% is the one saving grace. The moment if it ever turned to the camera and winked, the entire spell would be broken instantaneously.
Okay. Right.
6 chambers of butts.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and there's even weirder things with martial arts going on in there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw one screenshot of this doing rounds, and I think it sums it up for me. I laughed it for a good 3 minutes, I'd say.
Okay.
Right? Like it was some lady bending over for her arse across the camera, and subtitle was saying, obviously, is from the commentary announcer saying, "Is that butt looks like a pair of boobs?" Who knows?
Yeah. That doesn't even a single screenshot that does not even carry across what is actually happening in that scene.
Yeah, that seems pretty good as well.
So is this one we're going to continue doing, or
no? Because the boring bits are so boring.
With hope in his eyes.
No. I mean,
I have to agree.
It sounds like a good time, but if the boring parts don't really live up to it, then that's fair enough.
It's good for the sport bit, but if you try to watch it as an actual sequential series, the actual character plot line is so dull. Because all we do is just outline the sports bits, which you can watch on YouTube or watch on your favorite streaming service. So,
yes.
Whoops.
Sure.
So yeah, it's not as a storyline. There's nothing to it. In fact, it's kind of aggressive. It's kind of anti-show. So
maybe wait and watch the inevitable compilation movie.
Yeah, I'd watch a supercut. That'd be great.
Okay.
Next up, returning champion, Bungo Stray Dogs, episode 13. Which unfortunately this week was not based on the comic, it was based on a light novel spin-off.
It fits